So one of the things I think actually people are using VIA and Curb, there's no question about it. They're going to describe their services, but I can tell you that I take Curb all the time in my neighborhood. There's no other way to get around. In fact, there's like 5 green cab drivers that do the service in Brooklyn, and I know them by name. My whole family knows them by name. And I got to come here early today, so one of them took them to camp. And we're anxious to see VIA expand beyond the borders of where it's been. So there was a major announcement that occurred, and I wanted to make sure that the audience and everybody was fully aware of this new partnership. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Alex from VIA, who's going to talk a little bit about his company for those of you who don't understand what their business model is. He's going to talk about the new partnership that he has with, when I talk about Curb, it's synonymous with Verifone. Jason is from Verifone. He heads up the Curb application, which used to be known as Taxi Magic years ago. It's gone through several migrations, and now controls about, I would say, half the cabs for the most part in New York City. And they have a partnership they just announced, which hopefully will benefit passengers and as well as the drivers in the industry. So I think, Alex, maybe you could go first, and then Jason will fill in. Alex LeBlanc.
Great. Thanks, Matt. So my name is Alex, Matt. Thanks so much for having us today. I think for those of you who don't know VIA, we've been operating since late 2013 here in the city, initially working with vehicles in the FHP sector, providing exclusively shared rides to New Yorkers. So we take passengers who are headed in the same direction, match them together to share a ride for an affordable, low, flat fare. We, as Matt alluded to, we recently announced an exciting partnership with our friends at Verifone and Curb to bring Curb's in-taxi technology, which, as Matt said, controls over half the sort of payment mechanism and technology within the taxi cab in the city, with our sharing technology to provide shared rides. And those are on-demand, dynamically routed shared rides to match passengers headed in the same direction. We're bringing those two technology systems together. So for the first time, passengers will be able to book at a click of a button, either through the VIA app or through the Curb app. We'll be able to, with just a couple of clicks, book a shared ride within New York City taxi cabs. And from the rider point of view, it's both sort of an easy booking flow, but also the opportunity to save money on your taxi cab if you are okay with sharing the ride with another passenger headed your way. And a big part of what we do at VIA is we spend a lot of time sort of optimizing the algorithms and the technology to make sure that the shared rides we provide are very efficient. And so if you're a rider, the experience for you does not feel like you're going way out of your way to match with another person. But we're matching with someone who actually is headed in the same direction that you are. So we focus a lot on the rider experience element of shared rides. And yeah, we're excited to announce the partnership. And we also think from a driver and a city point of view, I think for drivers, an opportunity, to continue to use technology to improve their own businesses, to extend the trip lengths that they have, to get access to more passengers through our platform, which now has over 500,000 users here in the city. And then from a city point of view, also to reduce congestion. I think we're excited to provide more shared rides that help the city and continue to reduce traffic.
Actually, as a segue, just point of reference, under this new partnership, VIA is now adding yellows to its fleet, or is that the one way that you would share, or also can you call it Curb and share through the Curb app? I'm just a little point of clarification.
Just on that note, Curb works exclusively with green and yellow taxi cabs. So if you want to share a green or yellow taxi cab, you can use Curb, and VIA's technology helps find another Curb or VIA user heading in the same direction and match you to save money. The Curb user would not be matched into a VIA vehicle, right? It would just be a yellow or green taxi cab, and a VIA user has the option, depending on the circumstances and availability, of choosing either one of the VIA vehicles, which are again all driven by licensed drivers.
But when you go into the Curb app, you'll be able to choose a via or a sharing option from the Curb app as well?
So when you go to the Curb app now, we just released a recent update. You can select a regular taxi, you can select a wheelchair accessible vehicle, or you can select a shared ride. Right, but in each of those cases, you will be riding the taxi cab.
Did you guys start already?
Yeah.
Okay, so how's it going so far?
Good, things are going well. We've seen, I think the rollout of the product was quite smooth, and we've seen some growing adoption already. I think we're excited to continue to expand it as well. So we initially launched the product just in Manhattan, but we're already working together. Jason and I have been spending a lot of time on the phone recently to work to continue to expand this and roll it out with green taxis and in outer boroughs as well. So we're excited to keep pushing on expansion.
And does it include other cities as well?
Yeah, so that is definitely the hope. I think we're so Verifone and Curb have a presence in a number of other cities, and we're excited to work together to partner with them in other cities. I think those which cities are still TBD, so we'll hopefully have announcements soon about that.
You know, one of the things that came up on the last panel was before we take some questions. The whole, I guess we're alluding to the awareness of the consumer. I mean, people became aware via. At the beginning, without really the use of massive marketing or advertising dollars, it was like a stealth campaign that really kind of grew and took a life of its own. I mean, I can tell you that in my neighborhood, there's a ton of people who love to use both of these services, but a lot of them don't know that it's available. They don't know. What efforts are going to be made to market this? Because I think that's a big part of the issue here too. Is Uber is a marketing giant, right? So they damaged the taxi brand as best they could. I guarantee you in the boardroom they had the declining price of Medallion and their revenue, the revenue's not going up. They're not profitable. But I'm sure that they made hay of that, and they got a lot of free press, really. They got a lot of free media exposure at the beginning. And, my daughter pointed out, she's 13, she said, Dad, no one's ever going to use something else other than Uber. My generation, they all want Uber because they branded it that way. So how do you overcome that hurdle, number one? And what is the marketing plan? Because I do believe, at least for my generation, we want the service, and there are, I think, legitimately a lot of people who are not aware of these things. In our world, we don't know about it, but I think that could be the key to success or failure in many ways. You could argue that Uber is just a brand and a marketing engine with a good app, and everybody else has good apps too, but they weren't able to match the marketing dollars or the strategy that they did to appeal to the millennials and the post-millennials. I don't know what they are now, so Generation C or what we're calling them. Whatever they are, they still think Uber's cool, and they don't think that they want to use anything else. So how do we get above that?
So I would actually disagree with that slightly.
Okay.
I don't mean that it's not a matter of, let's call it marketing or marketing dollars, but I think what Uber was very successful in doing was heavily subsidizing the rides. Taxi Magic, which became Curb and we merged with Way to Ride, had been around actually longer, allowing you to summon a ride with your smartphone and have a taxi come pick you up. Uber certainly built a lot of critical mass. They built what I would call very low ETAs, right? So the ability to deliver a ride very quickly. New York's unique in the traditional separation of street hailing and pre-arrangement, right? And I think apps have grown into a gray area in between, and I think probably serves a very good purpose. But I think there's very little brand loyalty to Uber versus Lyft versus Get versus Juno. I think what was interesting from our standpoint is we're not in a position as a company to effectively be subsidizing the yellow cab and green cab industry on our dime, making those fares half the price. Right? We don't take part of the fare, we don't take the tip, we allow tipping. I would say that there are several million users of Curb in New York City alone, and just to correct a misperception that probably I can do a better job at, we're in 65 cities around the country. We are in Boston, we are in Los Angeles, Miami, Philadelphia. I can't remember all the cities we listed, but every one other than Detroit, Curb is available in. It just isn't in a position to make taxis half the cost that they are traditionally. That's not our role in the ecosystem. we really are a technology provider, and to the point of open standards, we've opened our mobile platform to VIA to a few other apps I won't mention, as they do compete with VIA's value proposition in some ways. We open them to Carhu. We're participating with our mobile platform with the MTA, with the paratransit program, the paratransit program with the MTA, but also the wheelchair accessible program from the TLC. What we're trying to do is bring options, and one of the things we thought about leveling the playing field price-wise was by sharing a ride, we are giving consumers who prefer a yellow or green taxi a way to have a cheaper ride using that same technology that we've layered in. Right now, if you street hail a cab, millions of times a year, people are using the curb app to pay for that and make that experience more efficient for them. I look at what happened at LaGuardia, and I say, you have hundreds of Ubers clogging a narrow area with hundreds of people, trying to figure out by looking at the license plate, which is their car. And I say, someone invented a really great solution for that. It's called the taxi stand. It's first come, first serve, and I can have all the apps in the world, but I haven't provided a better solution with Curb than just getting in line and first come, first serve. And if you want to use an app to make that more efficient, pay for your ride with Curb. Stores your card, stores your tips, sends you a receipt, finds your lost property. That's where technology is making the traditional value of the taxi experience better, not simply creating a new experience which says, hey, I'm kind of like a taxi, but if I don't pay my taxes, I don't, have all the safety, security, and insurance of a taxi, and on top of that, I subsidize the ride, I can charge you half price. Which consumer, as much as they hate what Uber stands for, do they hate it to double the price?
And that highlights also where the regulations get in the way too, on the taxi side at least. All right, so, we have questions? Let's go to some questions.
Just one quick question about, sorry, Matt, about the fixed price versus per seat price versus meter price. How do you guys differ? What is it for a consumer to get in the cab?
Sure, so I'll talk about the taxi product and let Alex talk a little bit more about the VIA vehicle product. We're hiring the meter when that first passenger gets in. There's a booking fee, a service fee. Uber has one, Lyft has one. The curb service fee is $1.95 to hail the cab with the app. Get one on the street, you want to pay, just the meter. But again, we're not in the business of taking 20% of the driver's fare. Like, this is not how we operate. So if you get in, we will have that booking fee to $1 no matter what. If you get matched and Matt jumps into the cab with me, at the moment we get into the cab, we're watching the meter and saying, okay, you pay 60% of the meter rate, I pay 60% of the meter rate. The driver keeps the meter on, and Matt, I don't know what the latest stats are, but they drive around 50% or more of their time empty. The goal here is that meter stays on for perhaps an hour straight, right? And effectively, for that period of time, the driver will be doubling the earnings per hour if he reduces that 50% to zero. Obviously, we're not that optimistic about it, but 10 or 20% increase in utilization is significant.
I have the microphone, so
Okay.
I'll take this
Yeah,
one.
well,
Next question.
you're next in the front. Sorry,
It was alluded earlier that the City Department of Transportation has very limited approach to dealing with the congestion issues. And I was wondering whether there's more that the DOT could do to assist shared drive by perhaps allowing shared drive vehicles to use the bus lanes or designated spots, where the pickups and drop-offs can be. Is there anything that you would see as helpful in traffic operations to help the service?
We'd love to use the bus lanes. I think we would be definitely supportive of finding constructive solutions with the DOT to think about ways that shared vehicles, and particularly shared rides that are high capacity. So one of the things we do at VIA is we are very focused on particularly high capacity shared rides, so not just matching two people together, but matching multiple people together on the PHV side, and eventually hopefully on the taxi side as well. And so I think in general, in the taxi product in particular, right, these are people that otherwise are going to be booking private taxis, right? So from the city's perspective, it should be sort of an unequivocal win to get people who are headed in the same direction into a shared ride. And we had discussions with the DOT about this, but we would love to continue to explore ways to make it even easier to facilitate and promote shared rides as a better solution for reducing emissions.
Okay, the gentleman in the front, you can pass the microphone back there. There's some questions back there. We go next for him.
do your taxi drivers earn more money than if they work alone? Or, and third question, you say something, how much do they cost to be part of your system?
So, it's, I don't want to say the wrong thing, there's no charge to be part of CURB. We do not charge the drivers for using the service. We don't charge the drivers for accepting the hails. CURB is part of Verifone, and Verifone is a TPET vendor, provides systems, software, payments as mandated for compliance with the TLC. We do provide a lot of data so that the TLC, all those nice charts that you see published about what's happening to taxi fares are coming from us and the other TPET providers. So there is a cost to having Verifone equipment, right? But CURB itself, the app is completely open. It doesn't cost anyone anything to use. We leverage the technology inside the taxi so that there don't have to be 2 or 3 cell phones sitting there. So again, one of the partnerships we're doing with the city for the Wheelchair Accessible program is it used to be that they were putting an extra dispatch terminal in the taxi for that 311 powered wheelchair program. I think that's crazy. We have an open platform, we made our APIs available, and now that program will be dispatched through the CURB mobile platform to Verifone taxis.
Before we go to the next question in the back, because I think on the last panel, the Port Authority, and the Port Authority is here as well. The whole history of sharing, having lived it myself, before 9/11, actually it was a New York City company and the Port Authority and Dan Dockeroff, before he became a deputy mayor. We were talking about a pilot program that TLC was going to do at the airports for sharing rides. And I remember Barbara Schechter, the deputy commissioner, with signs, and it was a whole big to-do, chicken and egg thing. And then 9/11 happened, and and there was really a need for the cabs there. And then ridership went down at the airports, and air travel declined, and the problem kind of stopped. And then it got a resurgence when we had the taxi, the transit strikes. And during the transit strikes, people were sharing left and right because they had to. In fact, cab drivers were told that they had to share, and passengers were told they had to share. It was part of the plan. It worked so well, it was one of the 2 or 3 times where we had 4 editorial boards for all the papers supporting anything that TLC did. The first time was the 98 strikes and the reforms, and the second time was the former general counsel's here just smiling. It's very rare that the press agrees with what you're doing. And then we tried to, the mayor's daughter actually, Bloomberg's daughter, worked with us on a project to try to do the shared rides with Ed Schuyler after the transit strike. And it didn't work, really, because I remember the day that I left the TLC, New Yorkers are too darn busy. There was no app solution. And I remember putting a stand up in the middle of traffic, and a cab will wait for 2 minutes, and then, then a passenger comes, and, the cab didn't want to wait for more than a couple of minutes. The passenger comes, and there's not another passenger. They see a cab, and they hail it. So the only places that really work are at the airports, at the Marine Air Terminal, as part of the pilot program, and at the bus terminal for the Port Authority. So I know the port now is looking at redoing their privilege permits and restructuring things. So in terms of your services at the airports, how do you envision them working? Would you prefer that you had a shared ride area on the frontage where you could stage somewhere else? I mean, have you thought any of this out, and what is your desire? Would you like to, or would it be better for the airport and for your service to have like a designated area up front and some type of front of the line privileges for cabs and for 4-high vehicles that share?
Yeah, so on the shared taxi product specifically, right now, as far as I know, we can't operate at the airport. We'd be a sort of taxi e-hail provider. I think it would be great if we could. We think it would be a good thing for the airport service. On the FHB side, we do provide shared rides at the airport. I think for the most part that works pretty well under sort of the current regime. The arrangement currently at LaGuardia is a bit complex at Terminal B, but that's primarily temporary from what we understand. So I think it would be great. I think it would be good from the sort of airport point of view. I think it would be good from promoting shared rides. If there were preferred shared ride sort of access at the frontage, I think that would probably also help ultimately the congestion issues around the front end, which are not just an issue, if you ask me, at Terminal B at LaGuardia, but also an issue at other airports as well and at other terminals. So we would love that, and I think that would ultimately probably be a good thing for the airports and for sort of addressing some of those congestion issues.
Okay, we have one more question in the back. Great. This is working. This is working. Hit the button, though. It should be green.
It's green. I'll just phrase my question. So I think that the purpose of this is to talk about the future of taxi medallion. You made a comment about like people's preferences in the brand issue. I mean, I think the data shows really clearly that people choose based on brand, not based on price. I mean, if people chose based on price for Uber wouldn't be as popular, but most people are relatively insensitive to price. But if you look at like Williamsburg and Lyft and Lower Manhattan and Uber, it is very clearly shown that people are choosing based on the brand. So I think that maybe the path forward for the yellow cab industry is to focus maybe on a media approach and a branding approach, because that's really what we in New York choose based on. And that's my personal opinion, but I think the data will show it. It's not price, it's brand. We live in a city of brands.
So I didn't mean to discount that earlier. I think there's definitely an effect of that, right? You look at the Delete Uber campaign after the situation at the airport, after the immigration ban ruling, right? They lost 200,000 accounts in a matter of days. I do think that yellow cabs have gotten a bad rap, right? It was very easy. I'm a marketing guy actually by background, in addition to technology. And I think it was very easy for Uber to set up and reinforce the boogeyman of the fat cat medallion owner, right? And say that they're the ones depriving you of this great thing we can bring, which I would argue what the great thing they brought was not so great in a lot of ways. But I think it is important for us as an industry to continue to work to rehabilitate the brand that is Yellow Taxi. It's certainly iconic. And now people are starting to have all their horror stories about Ubers and Lyfts. There's the Who's Driving You page. And I think without, having won that battle to get in, they now have to stand on their own service. And I think you're seeing a lot of pushback, and people are waking up to the idea that, wait a second, maybe that regulation was there for a reason, and it wasn't just for, what was he, the caviar eating, wine sipping, yacht owning, medallion owner. It was.
Well, there are a couple of those. They're not the majority, though. No, but it's a fair point. But I also think one of the things that we should end on this note is really talking about the brand damage that was done to being a taxi driver. There was a study that was done in Denver by one of the taxi companies there that actually started recruiting drivers, and they came up with this new TNC type of sedan service, and many of the drivers all qualified to be cab drivers, but they did not want to drive yellow in Denver because it wasn't cool anymore, because the brand damage is so significant to taxi. And look, the brand damage, they compounded it. Let's not say that Uber made something up out of thin air. I mean, every time a mayor, before Uber came along, did something to correct and make the taxi industry better or talked about reforming it, their poll numbers went up. Chicago, New Orleans, Giuliani, Bloomberg, whoever did something new and better with taxis or chastised them for doing something wrong, they were heroes because everybody has a bad cab story. Now everybody has a bad Uber story. But what I found interesting is that these cab drivers, they could have been cab drivers, but they said, we don't want to. We want to drive the sedan service. We want to drive the Uber type service. So actually, I think one of the things that you need to look at too, and the industry in general, is how you rebrand it. Like Flywheel has rebranded in San Francisco with a new colored car, with an app. Doing something different is something that's being discussed in the industry. And look, I can just tell you that there are people, especially, and this dovetails into our next panel, in the outer boroughs, in the underserved areas, in the communities where yellow doesn't go as much, where green cabs are and liveries are, where there's a real opportunity there from a marketing standpoint. And I think there are solutions here, and this is an exciting partnership for all of New York. And we're hoping that you do everything you can to get the word out, to the public about this, because I think people will use it. One last question, and then we gotta go to the next panel.
Hi, my name is Nikolai Hen.
There's a microphone right behind you here. There you go.
Hi, my name is Nikolai Hen. I am a car driver for 29 years in New York City. I own the Medallion since 1990. I heard somebody mention about curb. So, do you know when I use the curb and I reach the destination, if it's regular, not if it's not arrangement, they are asking me, you have to wait 4 minutes. Do you understand what means that to wait in Midtown Manhattan 4 minutes for the passenger?
Yeah.
I press the button, reach destination. You have to wait 4 minutes. If it's pre-arrangement, they are saying you have to wait 8 minutes. What does mean for 100,000 apps if we have to do that?
So
That's one thing.
Yeah, sure.
Second question. I am a yellow cab. Now I can buy one a hybrid or wheelchair. How my passenger which goes to JFK and has 4 luggage or suitcases, big ones, how am I going to fit them in Toyota Prius or Toyota Camry? If you want to ride to JFK, would you like to ride in a Toyota Prius or in a suburban SUV? You take away my chance to compete with Uber, Lyft, or others. Did anybody that does this study? New York City took my money in 1990, and now they take my bread away. They sold me the license Medallion for exclusive rights. Now they take my bread away. Do you know that the government starts with Andrew Cuomo? They not only rob me, but destroy families, women, children, wives. People lose their houses. Is the government in business to rob me or to level the playing field to be equal for everybody?
Well, I think we hope it's the latter eventually.
Thank you.
No, this is good, and we're going to have, first of all, thanks for your commitment and loyalty to the industry. This is a tough, difficult job, there's no question about it, but you're making valid points. And, just to think about it for a second, how the issues we have here that we're talking about is 10 times worse in these other cities. In these other cities, the business impact by the TNC lawlessness and the unequal playing field is so much more dramatic that, we're talking about real bigger, even bigger problems. Thank God we're able to hold on to the system as we have it, but it's changing, and I think the point of this forum is to highlight these issues. There are government folks in the room, academics who study these things. The time to act and discuss what the solutions are is now. So thank you for your kind words, and let's give a round of applause to our panelists. Congratulations on the partnership.